When I was 21, I bought my first car. And at that time, I was sharing a house or an apartment with a bunch of friends, one of whom was my good friend Gorham, who was a year older than I was, only 22, but he'd been driving since he was 16. And I had not driven until I was 19. And at 22, he was already married. It was crazy. He felt like the adult in that little house we shared. And so after I got the car, he took me aside and said, "Remember, Bill, cars don't fix themselves." In other words, if the clutch isn't working, if the brakes are squeaking, if the oil's not going to change itself, the brake pads aren't going to change themselves. You got to bring it to a mechanic. If something's wrong and you hear something's wrong, you got to do something about it. And it struck me as a kind of metaphor for adulthood in certain ways. You become an adult, and if there's a problem, you fix it. It's not going to fix itself. You know, the, uh, the checkbook won't balance itself. The bills won't pay themselves. The yard won't rake itself. The dishes, well, they'll wash themselves, but you got to put them in the dishwasher. You see, you're an adult. You got to take care of things. But then there's writing. And it's true, you've got to, if the story's not working, it's up to you to fix it, to find the scenes that do work, the characters behave the way they are meant to behave. But there's another thing that can happen when we're writing, which is we sit there and we're not sure the story's not working. We know that. And that's okay. I mean, that's part of the process. It's the molding of the clay, the massaging. We want to find the story. We don't need it to come out all at once. That's not how it has to go. We know that. We're grown-ups. But sometimes as we sit there trying to find the story, and maybe it's not going well, we might think something like, "I can't do it." Or, "What's the point? Man, I've been writing for 4 years now and I haven't sold anything. What's the point? I'm no good. This will never come together. I don't have the smarts. I don't have the skill. I don't have the talent." And the more you think those things, the worse you feel. And the worse you feel, the more it seems like you've got yourself a problem. Feeling is an alert to the fact that we've got a problem. In other words, if I stub my toe, I feel pain in my toe, there's a problem with my toe. If I have a stomach ache, there's something up with my stomach, right? If my elbow hurts, there's something up with my elbow. Problems, they need fixing. And so when we think, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I have no talent, we start feeling worse and worse and worse. And that feeling, it feels no good. It's a problem. And what do? We fix problems. And yet, there is no way to fix this problem that has been created by thinking, "I'm no good," other than no longer thinking, "I'm no good." It's almost like you're just swallowing poison. And the only way to stop swallowing poison is to stop. The only way to stop feeling bad is to stop thinking, "I can't do this," because that thought will block all the ideas that allow you to do it. But here's the thing, and I've been here many times with my writing and just my life. When it's really bad, and you've really talked yourself into this miserable pit, not trying to fix it by working harder or really trying to edit or giving up or whatever it is you try to do to fix it. If you don't do anything, which is actually the best thing, which I'll get to in a moment, if you don't do anything, it'll feel like sticking your head in the sand, as if you're saying, "Well, the car will fix itself. I'm an adult. Nothing fixes itself." And yet, if I think I stink, I can't do this, I will feel bad. And that bad feeling is going to prevent the thoughts I want that will allow me to tell my story. And all I can do to allow the momentum of thought and feeling that has infected my mind, the only thing I can do is nothing. Don't feed the thought. Wait. Do nothing. And as I do nothing, that feeling, that urgency, that discomfort will drain and drain and drain and drain, leave my mind until it's cleared enough and I can ask a new question. Well, what do I want to have happen next? But you have to do nothing. You have to think nothing. You can't be tempted to follow thoughts like, "How can I fix it? How can I fix it?" There's no fixing it. The problem is you thought you weren't any good. That was the problem. Not that you aren't any good, but that you thought you weren't. And as you think something, it creates momentum instantly. You know this because you're a writer and you write sentences and you want good sentences, and good sentences create good momentum. The readers are in the momentum of your story. And when you're in the flow, you're in a good momentum. But when you think, I can't do it and I suck and I don't have the talent, you're in a bad momentum and you're riding downhill, down to the bottom of your emotional pit. But it's okay. If you stop thinking, if you stop feeding it, you stop trying to fix it, if you stick your head in the sand and do nothing, the feeling goes away, and then you can start telling the story you want to tell. It's true. Sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. If you like it, hit subscribe so you don't miss a dose. And, if you like it, say so. Say so. Let your voice be heard, right? Yeah. So, till next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.